I don't want to get in between this because I'm just going to be very, very practical here.
Why? Who's not being practical? Throw us a subscribe, a review, whatever you want. It helps out.
How many subscribers do we have now?
Let's keep that in-house. You would clearly enjoy the Biggie concert more than the Prince concert.
Easily. Why? You'd walk out of the Prince show, you'd be like, I should have fucking picked him.
All right, we're going to talk about flip-flopping. We're going to talk about this kid Matt here.
What did I do?
You know what you
I'm
did.
a pillar of consistency.
This is a trash brand. Come on. You could do better. This is a Grizzly.
Okay, hello everybody. Welcome back once again to the best sports podcast on the planet. At least I think it is. And that is the Memo Podcast. We're excited to talk about our favorite and, most hated thing in the world, that is the NFL football season. You got the same guys as always. And I gave you our names on the screen this time, so you never forget. You got Richard Lyons, top right, Alex Masados, top left, Igal Harari, bottom left, and Matt Brodsky, bottom right. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. Some controversy in the NFL, some teams showing why they may be the team to beat in the AFC. We got our hometown report, and we got our weekly picks. We have one person in the live chat, Zach Benaharan. Look at Igloo. So inspirational, man. I agree. So inspirational.
Welcome, Zach. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you very much, Zach. And before we get started, how are you guys tonight?
Doing good.
Doing good.
Doing very well. Doing very well.
Yeah, I know. Matt's
busy
coming.
week, but powering through.
There we go. I know Matt's coming
Only
off a
Tuesday.
good weekend, so he's gonna have a lot to say. So we always
a lot
start.
of things going on in the NFL this season.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
We always start with our hometown report, and last week we were saying, it was finally a good one. We finally had 2 wins in the city of New Jersey, technically. But the New York Jets and New York Giants both won last week. Both fall back down to earth, take an L this week. Both get Giants get blown out by the Cowboys. Jets get defeated by the lowly Falcons. So let's start here with how we always do with the New York Jets. Meanie Gal, Melda, you're not late. You're just on time. Don't worry. Meanie Gal met up 9 a.m. to watch the New York Jets play in London.
Wow, commitment.
Very much committed, and it just did not go the way we thought it went. Igal, you want to give us a little rundown here?
Yeah, sure. So 9:30 in the goddamn morning. It made it really tough for us to stay up for the later games. I was literally passing out at halftime of the Bills game. But anyways, really tough performance by Zach Wilson. He just, was missing the short, simple plays, couldn't get into a rhythm, back to back in the first quarter, 3 and outs. So, it's really tough for him to find a rhythm there, especially, trying to hook up with guys. And, it was just kind of an embarrassing loss. Yeah, I know what I said. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. I mean, there's nothing to be sorry about.
This is just funny.
And, where'd Matt go?
We were talking about the Jets, so he ran away.
But yeah, it just, especially in the second half, like this is a very much a second half team, and when we needed them most, coming down at the end, when we started making a little bit of a comeback, that last drive, the defense didn't come up at all. Let up that touchdown at the end of the game. The Falcons' last drive of the game.
Yeah.
And
it was rough. So we knew it was going to be an up and down season. Sorry, I'm trying to get our IG live going here so people know that we're going live. This happens every year. Something good happens with the team, and everyone just kind of jumps right on it. Doesn't step back to think any given Sunday maybe it was just we got lucky one week. We can't expect them to just go out and now be beating every team because we looked at the Falcons and we were like, oh, that's an easy win. But the Falcons look at us and they say that's an easy win.
How could you say that's an easy win for any team?
I'm just saying. A lot of people were very, very confident going into this game. I didn't think it was an easy. I thought they could win. I bet on them. I bet on the Jets to win, plus 2.5. I thought they could. I thought they could win.
Well, the broadcast announcers before the game, they all picked the Jets to win, so that was the one sign that they lost.
Really?
Look, it's two of the worst teams in the NFL. The Falcons don't look too bad these last couple of weeks, but
I don't think they're terrible.
The Jets could, they can lose any game. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Again, it's a lot of young guys on the team, first year head coach, not going to overreact to anything. They're playing in London. It's Zach Wilson's probably first game overseas, I assume. It could have screwed him up.
Probably.
I don't know what they did at BYU. Maybe they had a European.
I know what
tour.
they didn't do at BYU.
But yeah, like I'm not gonna overreact. Real mature. I'm not gonna overreact to this one. They definitely got off to a slow start. Matt Ryan, guy's been in the league for 10, 12 years now. He knows how to handle an overseas game like this. He came out looking sharp. He looks really good actually these last couple of weeks. So he got off to a hotter start than the New York Jets did. Not surprising at all. And then in the second half, they kind of got into a rhythm a little bit there. They started to mount a little bit of a comeback. And as you said, Egal, the defense just couldn't hold Ryan down for the entire second half, which is, I think it's okay. I'm not happy with the performance by any means, but I'm also not terribly upset.
Yeah, it just I think the bye is coming at a good time right now, especially for Zach Wilson. He just looks a little rattled, a little like things are going too fast for him. Missing easy throws. He missed that screen pass. That was just brutal. It was wide open. Would have went for at least a first down, maybe more. He's got to just.
Do you think that means that this is coming at a good time though? Like, is it good for him to just?
I think he needs to take a step
taking
back.
Practice reps.
No, I think he just needs to take a step back. Watch what he's been doing. Kind of take the time off and come back. I feel like you always see a lot of guys go into that bye and they come back. It's like a new season almost. They say, but what did I just fucking break? Oh,
I was just thinking like. Maybe it could be good to just like run him back out there, Obviously, they don't have that choice, but
no, I just seen a lot of people talk about rookies and like that bye week is big for them. Like after the bye week, they usually play better.
Yeah, usually just at least I think this will be the case for him. It just will be like a little like self-building of his confidence again. Like first 5 weeks it was tough. You played your first 3 weeks was really tough defenses, and then you get off to like a little hotter of a start. Against Tennessee, and then we come back to reality, and now I just feel like he's going to his quarterback coach Josh Beck during this bye week, so I think that should help him out. Yeah, so I think that should help him out a little bit more, especially with his quarterback coach Josh Beck.
Josh Peck.
What do you mean he's going to him?
Beck.
Hasn't he been? He's the Jets quarterback coach?
No.
He's a personal trainer. And so I'm sure with 5 weeks of film under his belt, they could, make something happen. Listen, I'm hoping, but he just really needs to
Who do they play after the bye?
The Patriots.
And listen, it's going to be a big game for sure. And a lot of eyes are going to be on him, especially in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, it's in Gillette, so not great. They got smacked at home, so we'll see. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Guys on the bye, they like to go fine-tune some stuff, any kinks in the armor, chinks in the armor, what do they call it?
Whoa.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I know that's that's not the proper word, but that's the saying. Whatever they call
Kinks.
it. Kinks.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, I see what you mean, and I like, yeah, it could be beneficial. I just feel like with the struggles he's been having, it might not be good to sit and like wallow and like think about what's to come over the next 2 weeks. And you got the Patriots coming up. I don't know. I'm putting myself in his position and I'm just like, fuck, just run me back out there so I could like keep figuring this shit out. Like,
yeah,
I need to be on the field.
It's kind of like you don't want to keep instilling bad habits And if you don't take a second until you see what you're doing wrong, and then you keep going out in there doing the same thing. You know, I'm seeing a lot of breakdowns on Twitter of people Cornfield just said not kink. Okay. I guess that it was the other one. I'm going to stick with kink. I think that's probably the safe one to go with.
I think it is chink, but
yeah, you know, okay.
What are we, the literary podcast or football podcast?
I don't know. We're called the Memo. They usually have to have some good grammar in the memo. You know? Yeah.
No one have any typos in the memo.
We might need to think about rethinking this whole thing.
Yeah.
So did you guys read your Shakespeare this week?
I
It's a
did.
book club.
Yeah. So, as I was saying, don't want to instill bad habits. This isn't that. I lost my train of thought because now we're talking about kinks in the armor.
That's Cornfield's fault. He's always bringing his own kinks into the conversation.
Yeah. So we don't have to talk about them next week because they're not playing next week. But, you know, hopefully some guys get help. I guess one thing you could talk about is it came out that Marcus May officially wants to be traded from the team. I don't care. Get him out of here. I don't care about him anymore.
Get out. Stop being a
distraction. I'm done
distraction.
worrying about these safeties that are all they're worried about is getting out of New York. If he wants to leave, get him out. I don't want to pay him. He's like 29 years old.
Why do all our good players want to be traded though?
Because he's been through like 4 rebuilds on the team. I get it. He's an older player. He was drafted. He was like 24 years old. He's 29, getting his first big contract. They're not going to give him the money he wants. So he wants out. He wants someone else to pay him. Get something for him while you can.
What are you going to get for him?
Get a
Get a pick. Get a pick.
7th router.
If he walks in free agency, they're going to get a 4th round comp pick. So if no one's beating a fourth, if no one trades him for a 4th rounder, they might as well just keep him.
You should.
I mean, I don't know. But keep him. I guess. Yeah. If no one's trading for, that's a good point. If you can't get that deal before the trade deadline, just keep him and let him walk. You know, have a mentor, a guy like Ashton Davis. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I don't care about. Look, I get he wants his money. Good for him. He deserves it. He should go get it. I don't think the Jets should give it to him. I don't want to hear. And then the whole thing, his agent tweeting up about his injury just in time for the trade deadline, and then like a day later, it's like, oh, he got a DUI and was arrested. Like, oh, good, trying to talk smack. And now look,
I didn't hear about any of that.
Do you think it's a little weird that Wilson is going to work out with his personal quarterback coach?
No, why is that
No,
weird?
that's not weird at all.
Guys do that all the time.
Why isn't he?
I would like to know. I would like to know
they're not at the facility.
If that is a thing that other quarterbacks do. They might have their own guys. Like, I don't know much about it. It sounds weird.
I'm sure
a lot of guys have their own. Like Josh Allen and Sam Darnold work out with Jordan Palmer. Like that's their guy in the offseason.
That's the offseason.
But I remember Darnold would go with him during, and like they like kind of because they work on mechanics. They work on they're like connected to the coaches. Like in the offseason, they like tell them what they want them to work on. So he's probably just
during
going in.
bye weeks. Do teams like literally get time off,
They're not at the facility.
Yeah.
You're not. You like people go home. Like yeah.
Interesting.
You think he's just like I'm out?
Maybe.
No, I mean I'm just genuinely curious. I don't know the answer.
He's got a lot to work on, man. I mean,
I mean, bye week's not gonna turn him into.
I'm talking about like just watching the game on Sunday. Like, what is it? Like, what? Like, he can't hit guys like 5 yards in front of him. He's better when it's like when he's throwing it 30 yards
definitely
downfield.
Right. He's like the game is going way too fast for him. I think.
Yeah,
he's
like
just
he seems a little overwhelmed.
He's getting away from his mechanics, which is something look, I don't know about quarterback mechanics. I can't break it down and tell you like, oh, his back foot is 5 feet to the 5 feet. That'd be a lot. 2 inches to the left, and that's why he's throwing it, off his back foot, and that's why he sucks. I just see like people breaking it down. It just seems like, in the preseason where things are easier, he was doing all those things right because it's slower. You're not getting rushed as much. Defenses aren't throwing everything at you. And now he's getting all this stuff. It's kind of overloading him, and he's rushing. He's rushing plays. He said himself, he's like aiming instead of just throwing. It's like he's just thinking too much about the play instead of just going out there and playing. So he's a rookie. Hopefully he turns it around. I'm not expecting him to come out after the bye and be Justin Herbert or Josh Allen. I just hope at least like the second half of the year he looks better than the first half of the year. But we can move on from the New York Jets if we're ready, unless someone else has anything to add. Denzel Mims is 5th on the team in yards, has played 2 games. Just saying.
I mean, how many receivers have caught passes? Fifth on the team is not that.
Not
That's
fifth.
what I would expect him to be.
It was higher than fifth. I mean, in 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, fifth on a one team.
You got Corey Davis, Elijah Moore, Keelan Cole, all these.
Yeah, I would expect all 3 of them are
Trayvon.
probably ahead of him.
And I'm pretty sure he only has 3 catches
Yeah,
on the
that's
year,
what it is.
too.
He has 3 catches, and he's 5th on the team in yards.
What did you think he'd be 12th?
He should probably be way lower than 5th.
How
Big
many
catches?
receivers have caught passes?
Corey,
Braxton
he just
Bar-
listed everyone.
Braxton Berrios, Corey Davis, Keelan Cole, Jamison Crowder, Elijah Moore. That's 5 guys right there. Tyler Croft, Ryan Griffin, Michael Carter, Tevin Coleman, a bunch of players that have
they're
played.
probably like the worst passing offense in the NFL.
I'm just saying, get him on the field. 3 catches.
I mean, he's also like 3. Okay, so they hit him for like 2 deep balls in 5
Yeah.
games. That
No one
mean
else
he
is
should...
catching deep balls.
They probably want these intermediate guys to what's his name? Zach Wilson can actually like run a play with rhythm instead of just like airing it out deep to Mims every time.
Yeah, well, what he's doing right now is he's airing it out to Corey Davis every time. No one else catches the ball like consistently. What all we heard about was Elijah Moore. Apparently he's open all the time on film, always open, running great routes, never throws him the ball. What is happening here? Get him the ball. Where's the Deebo Samuel manufactured touches we were promised? Where is it? We don't know.
He actually said in a press conference today, if I'm not mistaken, he goes, I know that I've missed like Elijah on a lot of plays and like saw him open, didn't throw it. Like just him being, like late with his decision making. And he said that on the like during the bye week, he's going to really work on that and like try to get him the ball because he knows Elijah Moore's he's a ball player. Like,
Yeah, and everyone knows during the bye week you can make sure you throw to someone else.
Yeah,
all right.
He's a ball player.
All right, let's move on here. We have people in the chat that are fuming about Braxton Berrios. We cannot get into Braxton Berrios right now. Would not be good for the health of anyone on the show. Oh no. Clicked the wrong one.
Who the hell is mad about Braxton Berrios?
Melda's
teeing off on the Jets right now.
Does he like Braxton Berrios?
He doesn't like Braxton Berrios. He's mad that he's getting all these targets and touches when guys like Moore and Mims are,
Can we put some of the onus on Denzel Mims that he can't beat out Braxton Berrios onto the field?
Mims is, but Elijah Moore's on the field all the time.
No, Elijah Moore's different. I get that.
That's what I'm more mad about. Like they're running like reverse tosses to Braxton Berrios. Why?
Dumbest
play. Sorry. All right, let's move on. All right. The Jets, we move on. Unlike the Jets, the Giants lost. Well, they lost because they're worse than the Cowboys, but they also lost like 60 players in one snap. So let's talk about that game. I think it went pretty much the way we all thought.
Went swimmingly for me.
Yeah,
I picked the Cowboys.
Yeah, good for you. Whatever.
So. I talked to Kornfeld about this, and I don't think that the Cowboys, were in any danger of losing that game before all the injuries. But at one point, it was 10-10, and I mean, it seemed like
5 minutes into the second quarter.
Yeah, what's wrong with that? It was 10-10.
It's just not. It's nothing to write home about.
I'm not writing home. I'm just saying.
So what are you trying to say right now?
I'm just saying when it's 10-10 in the second quarter, and then every position on the offense gets hurt. I mean, I don't think it was going to be a 24-point loss. I could have seen that being a closer game.
Closer, obviously.
I think it would have been a closer game. And again, though, the main takeaway, and we can get into the injuries and specifically Saquon Barkley in a minute. But again, the Giants defense just cannot do anything that we had expected them to do coming into the year. 44 points to, granted, top 3 offense in the NFL right now, but I mean, this team is, I've been banging the drum the past couple of weeks that they're not as bad as their record might show, and they're in these games. But again, it comes down to their defense is just awful, and it's the same guys they had last year. I don't know what happened, but if that's not, if that's going to continue to snowball, it doesn't matter who's playing on the offense. It doesn't matter who's out there or who's injured or who's not. They have no chance if they can't do anything on defense.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, like you said, they brought back everyone from last year, and last year the defense was keeping them in every game and actually had them like overachieve to some extent. But yeah, even against the Cowboys, like 44 points, come on, you got to do better than 44.
Yeah,
You
especially
should be able to keep any team to under 44 if you have a respectable defense.
if it was the defense, if it was the way they were playing last year, they definitely would have not held them to, they wouldn't have stopped them, but they wouldn't have given up that many points. Positive from the game, Kadarius Toney builds on a solid, outing last week. He gets 10 receptions for 189 yards. What a great game. He's really explosive with the ball in his hands. He makes such quick cuts. He gets it looks like he's about to be swarmed by a few guys. He can get an extra 2-3 yards just with like a quick cut through. He's fun to watch. So, hopefully they keep, manufacturing touches for him.
It seems like they are too. What do you have? 10 catches, he said?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, they seem to be targeting him a lot now. Don't know where he was the first 3 weeks, but good thing that they're able to put it together. He broke Odell's record for most receiving yards in a game for a rookie. And yeah, man, when he has the ball, like you said, Rich, he just makes people miss.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he had like the most yards after catch in the league this week. I mean, he looks like a fucking player.
Yeah, man. They got to use him. They got to just keep force feeding him the ball. I don't know how long Jones is out for. Hopefully not too long, but once he's back, just make sure
Galladay is going to be out this week too.
Yeah, so just make sure you keep getting this kid the ball. That's one thing I'm sure Giants fans have to look forward to after this terrible start. There's not much to look forward to for our team. So you got to look at the young guys that are, producing, giving you a future. But yeah,
Saquon Barkley.
Yeah,
let's talk about Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, I know a lot of people want to talk about. Here we go.
The guy gets hurt again. This was a freak injury. I mean, he stepped on somebody's foot, so you kind of just have to, live with it. That's the sport. But again, I mean, the guy is. I mean, let's phrase it in this perspective. Is after this season, they have to decide what they're going to do with it. We can talk big picture here for a second. Are you giving Saquon Barkley like Ezekiel Elliott money or Derrick Henry money or what? Like what?
No.
You're going to let him walk? Like
No.
What's the solution here?
He should know that
you
he doesn't
absolutely
deserve
let
the
him
money.
walk.
He doesn't deserve the money.
Well, either you bring him back on a discount because of his injury history,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, you see what the market gives him. I doubt any team would give him Ezekiel Elliott money, and if you can work him
The
down
Jets
to a
would.
price, I hope not. If you could work him down to a price that you feel comfortable bringing him back at, then do it. But I mean, I feel like some team will take a gamble on Saquon. He's that good, but he's just never out there.
What is happening right now?
I mean, he could be breaking the rushing record every single season, and I still wouldn't pay him Zeke Elliott money. I don't think any running back is worth that money.
I
But
messed something up.
you took this guy number
I
2
see it.
overall.
Is it better now?
If you let him go,
Sorry.
mean-
there we go. It's better. Sorry.
I mean, it's
That-
a sunk
that in
cost.
itself-
That's sunk cost fallacy. Like
I know. No, I'm not saying that to sign him because you picked him second, but just like if you let him go, then like it just emphasizes how bad of a pick that was.
right. And people have been saying that since the pick was made, and even after Saquon had an amazing rookie season, the pick was always criticized and questioned, and that just goes along with a laundry list of things that was it Gettleman that drafted Barkley? Yeah.
Yes.
So it goes with a laundry list of questionable decisions he's made, and the Giants are looking like they're going to be a very bad team this season. Maybe they'll get a little better once they get these guys back, but they're definitely going to get whooped by the Rams this week, especially with all the injuries that they're dealing with. And until they get fully healthy, which may not be until way later in the season, they might lose every game. And yeah, it's looking like Gettleman is on his way out, and the Giants brass might just send him packing, and along with Saquon, and clean house, start over again.
If you have a new GM, it's probably a much easier decision than keeping Gettleman's going to want to keep him around and be like, I made this pick. I'm not just going to let him walk away and look like a moron, but you already do. So,
yeah.
I mean, he's definitely out after this year, right?
I think
Can't-
we could all
Unless,
agree on that.
I mean, to Alex's point, if his injury history is going to keep him on a cheaper deal than the highest paid running backs, maybe you can give him a contract. You can lock him in at a discount, but
yeah, maybe.
I don't see
Yeah.
that happening because all these running backs are trying to get big contracts from all these teams and no one's really giving them. So like a little later into their career, like after that rookie contract. So like it's tough.
Would you do like a Nick Chubb? 3
What's
years,
Nick Chubb's?
3 years, $36 million, $12 million per year for Saquon Barkley.
That's not
Yes.
terrible.
Yes, I would do that.
let's see how Devontae Booker
That's the
plays.
contract that Nick Chubb is on.
Yep.
Damn.
Steal.
Yeah.
Underpaid.
Yeah, it was very surprised. I mean, he was probably just like, just gonna take the money. Especially he's in the split backfield. I'm sure they weren't gonna, break the bank for him. They could have just kept Hunt.
Yeah.
What is Hunt's
Yeah,
contract?
interesting.
Hunt also he's on a 2-year, $12 million deal, or no? No, I'm wrong. I don't know how to read this bullshit.
I
Yeah,
mean,
two-
it just depends. The Giants, they're obviously going to have a lot of holes to fill on the defensive side of the ball. I don't know if you're tying money into Saquon Barkley coming off 2 injuries
Mhm.
and really never showing that he can put it together for a full season.
And then
So, if it's 10 million, if it's 12 million, if it's 15 million, I don't know if it's worth it at all.
yeah,
Might
you're right.
not be.
And then they puts them in. It depends what happens with Daniel Jones. If they keep him around, then he's due to be paid. Or do you pull?
They've got him for
50.
2 more years, I think.
Yeah,
Well,
but
they would have to pick up the 5th-year option.
So he was drafted a year behind Barkley, so it would be 1 year where Barkley's being paid and Jones is on his last year, and then they're overlapping for the next 4 years, depending on however long you sign them for. Do you want to be paying? I mean, I don't think Daniel Jones is going to get top quarterback money. So
Jones is obviously the priority there, though. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're going to sign
yeah.
one of them.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I don't know who the Giants play next week. Giants schedule.
Rams.
The Rams.
They play the Rams. That's rough. That's a rough one to go. I guess, would have been a loss anyway, so get everyone healthy, I guess. All right.
Start nobody. Just practice squad players.
What'd you say, Matt?
1 sec, I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. Give me one. We're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna mute us. I'm gonna put us on pause here. Okay, we're back. Matt just had to go do whatever he does, his sketchy ass. But
Sorry,
we're
I had to
back.
go pour myself another cup of Jameson and Dr. Pepper.
I should have done that. All right, let's move on here. We're every week we like to keep all the miserable stuff towards the beginning of the show, end it off with the fun stuff. So we're gonna move on to what seems to be the biggest story and maybe all of sports right now, which is the John Gruden email controversy. He is out as the head coach of the Raiders. If you're watching Monday Night Football, you would have to know because they talked about it. They'd be like, oh my God, Lamar, game-winning touchdown, and John Gruden's out as the head coach of the Raiders. And they were just shoving it in every single thing they could say. So
it's pretty ironic, or not ironic, or it's a pretty full circle kind of view that it got announced on Monday Night Football which was the vehicle that John Gruden used to run for the past, however many years before he was back coaching with Vegas. But yeah, I mean, listen, he stepped down. Seems like they did that. I guess he was probably going to be fired if he didn't step down, so he kind of like got out in front of it. But yeah, I mean, just a bad dude, bad guy.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be in the league. He's got some shit that he's got to take care of. But
this guy, he was making fun of everyone, like not even just one specific group, like every ethnicity, like everything.
Yeah.
Like, and honestly, him resigning, he just probably walked in there and he's like, that's not even half of it, like of what I've said or what I've done.
So I think he was defiant about it.
Oh yeah, he was like, you know what? I got way more in the bag. Let me just walk now and settle, and that's it. Walk into the sunset. Well, not really a sunset, but
yeah. Alex, I think you said something earlier today, and you brought up a good point, and not to take anything away from
shit keeps freezing.
You're fine right now. Obviously, John Gruden deserves to be out as the head coach. He seems like a pretty terrible guy. All the things he said are awful. He deserved to get exposed for what he did. But this whole thing was found because they were, investigating into the Washington organization, and it seems like we're coming away with the wrong thing here. Pulling up emails of the guy who's not involved with the team anymore when you're looking into something else. Look, like I'm saying, he deserved. Rafa said you look great, baby, frozen or not.
Thanks, guy. Appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in.
So, you got to wonder, is this like, this investigation was ran by the owners into Washington. Is this the fall guy, the deserved fall guy? I don't want to call him the fall guy. He deserves to be, he deserves to be out of there, deserves to be exposed. But is this, okay, we did our investigation, we found this, let's brush the rest under the rug? I don't know.
I mean, I don't want to take away from how shitty what John Gruden did was. Obviously, he seems like a really shitty guy with some personal demons that he needs to take care of, not as the head coach of an NFL football team.
Excuse me.
But yeah, I don't know if I want to get into all that, but
no,
the investigation was into a toxic football culture at the Washington football team, in which essentially cheerleaders were, trafficked. They had topless photos like being sent via work emails by executives of the Washington football team. So, fuck John Gruden, fuck everything that he did. He's a piece of shit, but I want to see what else came out of this investigation.
It just seems we're always hearing about how shitty Dan Snyder and this organization is and all the things they did, and we're never coming to.
I don't know if the NFL can do anything about Dan Snyder, but maybe like the FBI can.
Yeah. Maybe.
Well, so that's the thing too. It's also, it's obviously a lot easier to fire a head coach or force a head coach to resign than it is to sell an NFL team or force a sale, I guess.
Yeah, but it's also executives that worked for the Redskins now work for the football team.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of funny how all roads and scandals kind of just lead back to Washington, right? It's like Dan Snyder is involved somehow in all of this terrible stuff going on. But the NFLPA did summon the NFL to release the rest of the emails. 650,000 emails were uncovered in this investigation. So maybe this is just the tip of the iceberg for some crazy shit that's about to come out. I'm sure the NFL will try to keep that under wraps as much as possible. But we'll see what happens. But as of now, to talk about it from a football perspective, we were all kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop with the Raiders season. They started out at 3-0. They actually did lose 2 football games in a row aside from this. And now everything comes crashing down. So Raiders are going to do what Raiders do. And I don't know where they go from here without a head coach. But, yeah, see you, John Gruden. He is now out of the Tampa Bay Ring of Honor as well. He kind of just completely ended his professional career. And
we're not going to be hearing him at all anymore. It's crazy.
Never.
He's been such a prominent figure in the sport for so long, and now he's just going to be completely off the grid. You feel bad for the Raiders players. They started off the season pretty well. We always say they implode at some point. Came early this year. I wonder who the interim's going to be. I hope
It's the assistant head. It's the assistant coach. I'm pretty sure they announced it already.
I don't know who it is.
Pretty sure.
Well, if you can.
Well, I'm sure it's someone they feel more willing to play their hearts out for than John Gruden now.
Yeah, for sure. Melda, what did you ask here? When talking about the Washington football team in the past tense, do you say the Redskins or do you call them the football team?
The football team.
I don't know. I guess if they're like showing,
you would call them the Redskins.
Like if you're showing clips from a game where they were the Redskins, you would say the Redskins. But if you're talking about them now, you would call them a football team. They were the Redskins. You can't hide the fact they were the Redskins. That's what it was. So just Well, this is about John Gruden. So
And I'm frozen again.
Yeah, now you are. It felt like he was going to be on his way out at some point anyway. We didn't know it would be like this, but that's the way it is, and fuck that guy.
That's why don't sign your coach to a 10-year, $100 million deal.
You're good now, Matt.
He just lost out on $60 million from emails he sent 10 years ago, which I'm not trying to belittle, but just the fact that this was the last thing on his mind.
Yeah.
These emails surfacing, and now just like that, he's out $60 million. Deservedly so. He's a scumbag. But just
he probably forgot that he did it.
Happens.
Well, no, this has been happening since they said it was from 2011 to 2018 that they have like a span of emails. So it's 3 years ago.
How do you email that shit?
That's the thing too. How stupid of a person are you to be putting that kind of
He's
stuff?
a dumb boomer.
Yeah. And he probably at the time didn't even think there was anything wrong with what he was saying. So he's just like, fuck it. Why would I not talk how I always talk? And
he probably can't comprehend the fact that your emails are stored somewhere forever.
Yeah.
It happened so fast.
I'm going to strip on the show real quick.
It really happened so quickly.
So fast. I was in shock. But,
it was crazy. But good. The right decision was made regardless of, anything else that the NFL does or doesn't do or who else is involved. At least, John Gruden does not deserve to be a head coach, and he's not anymore. So we'll move on.
All right. Time to get to the positive, fun parts of the show where, everyone can have fun and dance and sing for joy. So let's talk about John Gruden again.
Good football. Let's talk about some good football.
All right, here we go.
A lot of action going on in the AFC. I think there's really 5 teams that we can hit on as probably the top 5 teams in the AFC, but they all kind of played against each other or had impressive performances. Let's start with that Chiefs-Bills game. I know 2 of us didn't watch it, if I'm not mistaken.
I watched the first half, and then I fell asleep, and then there was the delay, right?
The delay was
lightning delay.
I woke up, and I was like, "It's still going."
Yeah,
same thing.
Yeah, and then I was like seeing, for some reason, that was like the game that everyone fell asleep for. I was seeing it on Twitter, like mad people saying they fell asleep.
Well, there was an hour delay.
Yeah.
It was also because we got up at 9:30 for a stinking Jets game.
That's true, Matt. Everyone fell asleep for that game, so we're not the only ones.
What a performance by the Buffalo Football Bills. What a performance.
The Buffalo
Seriously.
Football Bills.
I'm here to say I was wrong. Last week I went on my rant about how the Bills in big games kind of, get a little undisciplined. I ended up doing my research after I made that statement. That's always good, right? They're actually like bottom 5 in the league in penalties this year. Last year they were up there, so I was, I was drawing from.
Well, yeah, because I do remember that AFC Championship game or the one of the Bills Chiefs games developed. It was a shit show towards the end.
Yeah, right. But it seems like they've gotten that on track this year, which is great for them, and it's coincided with them looking like they've taken a step forward from last year, which is great because they were really good last year and they made the AFC Championship. So you got a team that's really looking like the front runner in the AFC right now, and they proved it on
Absolutely.
Sunday night.
35 or more points in 4 straight games now, 2 shutouts. And
Their defense is good too.
That's the biggest takeaway that I have is they were able to force, I think, three more turnovers for Kansas City, which is not something we're used to the Chiefs doing. But it wasn't even that. It was like 3rd and short and 4th and short situations towards the end of the game. Like the Chiefs were not able to convert. I know the weather was like it was a pouring rain. Obviously, the hour delay for lightning, so the elements were working against both teams, obviously. But that does hurt offenses sometimes. But the Bills, they were just making stops when they needed. They were getting big turnovers in the red zone. It seemed like a complete effort, and it was really never close. Even after halftime, after the long delay, the Bills just came out, did the same thing they did in the first half, and the Chiefs never had a chance.
Yeah, that defense is just god awful.
Oh.
And their mascot is Tyrann Mathieu going like this.
Yeah. So I mean, Chiefs are now at 2-3. They're still dead last in the AFC West. I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, what concerns do we have for this team making the playoffs, making a run? Like, what is their ceiling right now?
I'm not concerned about them making the playoffs, but the defense, like I just said, Igal, you can go.
I was going to say the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm not worried about them making the playoffs. They're that good of a team, and Patrick Mahomes not making the playoffs just doesn't seem realistic. In all honesty, the man can do magical things with the football, but their defense is the only thing that's really holding them back. So I don't if you have to do something at the trade deadline or pick up some guys on wait, I don't know. But something's got to get figured out over there because Marcus May. But in all honesty, you can't compete in these football. You can't. You just let up 30, 40 points a game. You're not going to win many of them.
Yeah, I mean,
especially with one of the best quarterbacks in the game.
Seems like one of their problems is at safety. So.
Yep.
Yeah, the guy, Daniel Sorensen, apparently is the worst player in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this: it's a long season. We're 5 games into the longest season in NFL history. So far, we got 12 games to go. They have Andy Reid. They have Patrick Mahomes. They have a lot of good players over there. They're going to be fine. I think they're going to make the playoffs. Their ceiling might be a little lower this year as compared to others because their defense is just so terrible. But I'm not going to count them out just yet.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna count them out, obviously, and I wouldn't be surprised if they run the table. Like they can finish 14-3.
Yeah.
But it just seems like in years past, their defense did start out slow, but they would always, like I said, make the big play, get the big stop. Now they're just absolutely letting everybody score on them. They've given up 28 points or more in every single game. It's not looking good. And Mahomes has 6 picks in 5 games. They fumble the ball every game.
Yeah.
The turnovers are a problem.
The big thing to me is the turnovers because in years past, their defense was never good, but their defense was also their offense. They would put together long drives or just really big plays or just touchdowns in succession, rattle off like 28 points in a quarter and just like demoralize you. And you're not really seeing that this year.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're going to rebound, I think it's going to be on offense. The defense is a lost cause.
Mm-hmm.
But if the offense can really focus on not turning the ball over as much, then that would be huge for them. Just put together long drives, keep offenses off the field. They used to be very good at that, and we just haven't seen that this year.
Yeah, for sure. I think they'll be fine. They're playoffs wise. Once they get there, the defense will be the issue. Like we're saying, I don't want to keep repeating. My takeaway would be more the Bills. Like who's running with them right now?
They're the best team in the NFL.
They look like they're easily the best team. And I hate to say it, but there are a few other teams that are looking good. I know we're going to talk about them, and then maybe we can, at the end, compare, contrast, say who we
Yeah, so let's talk about, in terms of the Chiefs making the playoffs, they usually are running away with their own division, and they're always, there's no worry there.
Mm-hmm.
They're now 2 games behind the Chargers, and the Chargers beat them once, so they have that over them. So obviously it's only 5 games into the season, but the Chiefs have ground to make up, and it looks like the division is going to be a lot harder to win than previous years. So that would be the only thing more concerning than usual for Kansas City. But that Chargers-Browns game, man, that was one of the game of the year.
Yeah, that was a fantastic game. We picked this game last week. I had the Chargers. Matt, you didn't take the Chargers, right?
No.
Okay, Matt picked the Browns.
That's why they won, so I'm happy about it.
Yugal and Rich, you guys.
I picked the Chargers. I picked the Chargers.
Yeah, but 5-point game. What was the final score? Was 47-42 or something?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think it was exactly what we expected. Really high scoring. The Chargers defense, suspect on the ground for sure, but their secondary I think is very good still. But yeah, Herbert's just breaking records left and right. Chargers records at least, and he looks pretty
NFL
fucking
records.
unstoppable. NFL records like what?
He's got the most 300 yards games through like 6, however many games he's played. He's got the most like 3 touchdowns, 0 interception games in however many games he's played. It's just every week the guy is just, he doesn't make mistakes, and he's just lighting up defenses.
Right.
And it's incredible.
The thing with the Browns is they play these great games against these great teams, and they rightfully so are talked about as one of the best teams in the AFC and the NFL. It just always seems when they need to score or like put away the game, they just can't do it. And I don't know.
Well, Nick Chubb for some reason is just ass in the red zone.
Yeah, but even like they got the ball twice when they were up 42-41, and then when they were down 47-42, and they couldn't do anything. They got the ball back with not that much time left, I guess, for the game-winning score, but they never seem to be able to punch it in.
That drive was really bad. Once the Chargers missed the extra point and they were up 42-41, the Browns got the ball back with 3 minutes and like 15 seconds and went 3 and out.
Can't do that.
You have over 200 yards on the ground. I don't understand what happened on that drive. I'd have to go back and look at it again, but they gave the ball right back to the Chargers, and then they went down the field and won the game. So that, to your point, Richard, at the end of the game, something goes wrong with Cleveland, and it happened against the Chiefs in Week 1 also.
Exactly. That's what
and last year in the playoffs against the Chiefs.
That's exactly all. Those are the 2 games I was thinking of, and then
I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
Baker played great. Baker played really well.
To this game for the Eagles.
Did he play well? Within what the offense was doing, running the ball really well, and he had 300 yards, but when I'm sure they needed him to make a play. I'm gonna find the last drive, the 3-and-out drive.
The play calling I think was a little weird if I'm remembering it correctly. But it was literally, the Chargers scored 26 points in the fourth quarter, and the Browns had 18 or something like that too. Yeah. They were scoring on every single drive until the Browns needed to have it, and then they just gave it right back.
Yeah, so
West 3-1.
What the fuck is that?
These are 2 of
Sorry,
those
this
teams.
is about to be in the podcast.
What?
I opened something and it was playing something from the game, and it records the desktop audio, so that's about to be in the middle of the podcast.
No,
I'll cut it out. Here it is. 1-yard run, incomplete pass, 3-yard run.
What are you running on third and that whatever that third down play was?
3rd and 9.
That they don't trust Baker Mayfield to go end the game. That's what that means.
If you run it on 2nd down.
Yeah, run it on 2nd down. If you really want to go and get that 1st down, end the game, throw a pass. Get Odell on a slant or do something. They were just conceding
from a fucking button hook with Njoku who had 150 yards.
Yeah, they must not have trusted Baker to do that, and then they just were willing to give the ball away. And you give the ball to Justin Herbert with 2 minutes left, he's gonna fucking go and get a touchdown.
Scored in 31 seconds.
The Chargers did.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not gonna. Yeah, you guys are right that they tend to not really show up the offense when they really need to, but they put up 42 points.
Yeah.
No, of course. It was that one drive that really soiled it away.
I still think the Browns are a good team. I guess when it comes down to it, and it's like playoff time, you may not trust them to like put a game away or something like that. But I still think they're a really good team, and they played really well against, I think, one of the best teams in the AFC.
And they're missing one of their best offensive linemen, Wills, and they're still doing this on the ground. But that's the thing, though. You would expect with the way their team is structured and how they run their offense that they would be able to, put away these games and, run out the clock and, kind of like, I guess, the Colts were trying to do.
But no team can just like succeed in one facet of the offense and not the other. Like you need to have balance, and you need to be able to do both.
Course.
How many times do you see teams, they're up, it's a close game late, and they're still throwing short passes because they trust their quarterback to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that 3-play drive where the incomplete pass was deep left to Rashard Higgins. Like, is that the play you want?
No.
Like trying to put the game away, a deep left pass to Rashard Higgins,
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there on that drive, but again, they're the first team to score 40 points with 0 turnovers and lose. Teams were 401-0 when that happened, and they're the first team to lose. That's insane. And I don't even know what to like pull out of that, like what the conclusion of that stat is. But that's just, I guess it's just bad fucking luck. And they're a team that supposed to have a good defense. They obviously got shredded.
Yeah, they got torched.
I'm also a believer because the Chargers have a decent defense too, and they also got torched. Like sometimes games just turn into those kind of games where there's nothing you can do.
Sometimes the offenses just start absolutely.
It's just a shootout.
It was like the Rams Chiefs game that year. It was 54-51. Like.
And the Rams were supposed to have like one of the best defenses in the league.
They went. Was that the year they went to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they gave up 13 points in the Super Bowl. I mean, they scored
it
3.
I mean, like when your team wins, you tend to like the Chargers. When the fact that they won, you'll look back on this and say, "Oh, the defense bent but didn't break."
Yeah.
They broke.
Made a stop when they needed to.
Right, they got to stop which is true. It's true that they got to stop when they needed to. They got the 3 and out that put the offense back on the field, and they won the game. So sometimes, it just comes down to one drive, 1 3 and out. It's a game of inches, man.
Yeah, and that's why I picked the Browns, because I knew that the Chargers are very suspect against the run, and Cleveland carved them up for over 200 yards. But right now, it's the Bills and the Chargers in terms of the way that their offense operates. They just score touchdowns at will. Like they get the ball and they march down the field and they score. And we're gonna see, and another team that did that was the Baltimore Ravens on Monday night. One of the best performances I've seen from a quarterback in a long time, Lamar Jackson, especially in the second half. So you have these 3 offenses that can just really score points, and obviously the Chiefs offense can too. So that's why this is, we're talking about the landscape of the AFC. You have the Bills, Chargers, Chiefs, and Ravens. I mean, it's a complete toss-up, I would say, at this point.
Yeah, I would put the Ravens a little below, I think, still. Like the Chargers, Chiefs, and Bills. I'm
gonna sound like such a hater. Sorry to cut you off, but
no, you're good. Go.
But they can't just keep. This time they came back, right? And we always criticize the Ravens for not being able to come back, and this time they did it. But just being behind 17-3 to the Colts or whatever it was, 16-3,
22 to something. At some point.
9, I think.
If that's the Chiefs, if that's the Chargers, they're not coming back. They're going to lose. So, I agree with you. Lamar Jackson, that performance was incredible. He single-handedly willed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the team besides him is not good. The
Mark
offensive line is
Andrews.
bad. Right. Mark Andrews had a hell of a game as well.
Yeah.
But the offensive line is bad. The defense is Swiss cheese getting torn up by the Colts. And it's a defense that we expected to be good, but so far this season they haven't been that great. And he just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna win this game," and he did.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was not like he was getting around the end of the. I was just like, oh, he's gonna run out of bounds. He's not gonna make it. And he was just like getting just right around the defense, getting like 15 yards, scrambling, completing quick passes, completing deep passes. It was amazing to watch. But I agree with you. It was against the Colts, who shouldn't have been realistically beating them that bad in the first place because they were 1-3. What are they? 1-4 team, 1-3 team. Now they're 1-4. Decimated secondary. They lost guys before the game and during the game, and that's what caused the comeback in the end. But they're still they're still the Ravens, well coached. They have Lamar. They're gonna always be able to compete with anyone. But I just don't see it being sustainable through at least the playoffs. They're not. I don't know if they're gonna be they're not gonna be the 1 seed, so they're not gonna have a bye.
Let's see. They're
5 games
tied.
in.
They're tied for the 1 seed right now. I mean, we'll see how it plays out. But to Alex's point, and this is something that we've all criticized them, me especially, for a long time now. When they fall behind, they're unable to bring it back to. They're unable to come back because of Lamar Jackson's limitations in the passing game. But 37 for 43 for 440 yards. I mean, are you kidding me?
That's good no matter who you're playing against.
Yeah, are you kidding me? Like that's the first time we've seen it. So we'll see if he can, do it again. Hopefully they're not falling behind that often. Yeah. But maybe this is a new, a step up in his game that they are able to throw their way back into the game.
He was incredible passing the ball.
Everybody was just so wide open. Every play was a 20-yard gain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the plays to Mark Andrews weren't anything special. He was just open over the middle. Lamar would dump the ball to him, and then he'd pick up another 5-6 yards, and that was it.
It was crazy.
Yeah,
So
they have a pretty tough road at the end of the year, and they still have to play all their division games twice. They haven't played the division yet.
Those games
with Cleveland.
So they have a pretty tough schedule. They have Chargers and then the Bengals. I think the Bengals are a pretty decent team. I think they could go either way. Chargers, obviously. Vikings, Dolphins, they should be, and then Bears. So that's pretty easy. But then to end of the year, Browns, Steelers, Browns, Packers, Bengals, Rams, Steelers. So no matter what you think of the Steelers, their defense is still good. So that's why I don't think they're going to be the 1 seed. So
no, they won't be the 1 seed.
We'll see.
I mean, if they can get off to a hot start against any team, I would take the Ravens. But they just can't be falling behind 16-3.
The story of the game is more about Lamar himself than the team, but they are 4-1 now, so they are
Well, he's incredible.
Yeah.
That offensive line is so bad, they just let everyone through, and Lamar's just like, fuck it.
Dude, he's impossible to tackle.
He's just every single move he makes is at light speed, ludicrous speed.
Well, we're going to find out a lot more about them for both teams when this week, one of our game of the weeks is Chargers-Ravens, so that'll be a good one to see.
Yes, it is.
Don't fall behind against the Chargers.
Nope.
Don't do it.
Are we ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Peaks?
All right. Well, if you were to just because the title of the segment was who was the best team in the AFC, you're taking the Bills right now? Is that your answer?
I'm taking the Bills.
Gotta go with the Bills.
Yeah, it's got to be Buffalo.
The Los Angeles Chargers.
All right.
Yeah, I want to, but Buffalo, man.
Doing it.
Josh Allen was heaving 50-yard bombs in the pouring rain. It was ridiculous.
Dude, did you
hurdling
see that?
Guys.
Against
see
who?
that?
Against who? Sorensen? I could do that.
All right.
Oh, my God. You'll never give them the respect.
Never.
All right. Well, we could talk a little more about these two teams right now. Should I tell Wes to join?
Yeah, tell him to come on.
Yeah.
Now, let me roast Seagal really quick. Betting on the Pats, betting on the Bills. What are you doing? Stop. You can't come over to my house anymore if you're going to be rooting for the Patriots and the Bills.
You were rooting against the Jets. You were
When?
rooting against them week 1.
No, I wasn't.
Oh God.
Come on, we'll go back to the episode. That's all I'm
That was
saying.
not-
Hey,
Josh Allen.
guy just wants to win a little bit of money over here. All right, sorry.
Rich, can you believe Josh Allen is the favorite to win MVP?
No.
Why
'cause
is that
it's-
surprising?
It's Kyler
Because
Murray.
Richard thought he was the biggest bust in NFL
Oh,
history.
here he is. He's joining right now. Let's move.
Perfect
Put
time.
some damn respect.
Oh, this looks
Leave him
really
in the
stupid.
waiting room until you answer that question.
Here we
Tell
go.
him.
Hey.
What'd you
You
say?
guys hear
Sorry,
me?
man.
What
I
up?
can't hear you.
What up, Wes?
What's up, guys? Good to be here with some of my former baseball teammates back in Little
Welcome
League.
to the
Back on
show,
travel.
man.
Oh shit!
Also,
I got
Cheers to that.
also me. I gotta fix my camera really quick, but you can get out. You can get going. You're good.
So
Go ahead.
So we got 2 games of the week. We got Chargers Ravens. We got Cardinals Browns, and then 2 spreads. Your choice. Let's hear it.
Perfect. Yeah. So I just heard you guys talking Chargers, Ravens, and to me, that's a complete toss-up. I don't know where to go because they're both coming off 2 completely wild games. So there's no like letdown spot coming up or anything like. Well, they're both due for a letdown spot, I guess you could say. For me, I think I'm going with the Chargers on this one. I'm just impressed by Justin Herbert too, and I'm going to bet on Lamar not being able to do 37 for 43 again. That's an incredible line, and
It's pretty valid.
probably something that can't be repeated. I think he's an underrated passer because I think everyone thinks he sucks at passing.
Yeah,
I don't think he's as bad
Alex
as
primarily.
I don't think he's as bad as advertised, but I'm going to bet on him not doing 37 for 43, 400 yards again. And like you guys said, if they fall behind, it could be trouble for him. Plus the extra day of rest. So I'm going Chargers on that one. Browns, Cardinals. Browns are favored by 2.5, which kind of puzzles me.
Yeah, what's up with that?
And you guys
That's
just
weird.
you guys just shat on the Browns for 15 minutes. So for that reason, I'm taking the Browns.
Oh, fading the memo. All right. I
Hey,
like
well, you
that.
know what happens when you shit on Brown.
Because because it just seems like a bounce back game for them too. And the Cardinals didn't look that great. They looked all right, but they were playing San Fran with Trey Lance, who looked a little bit lost at times. And like you said, for every reason that you guys said, like it doesn't make any sense that the Browns are favored by 2.5 points versus the undefeated Arizona Cardinals.
Mhm.
But I think Vegas must know something, and that's why you go with the Browns on this one.
I like it.
And the one way that
Logical.
the one way that you stop Kyler Murray is by running the ball and keeping him off the field. So if they
That's
can
a
do
good
that
point.
effectively,
Good point.
that's the only way that you could stop that offense, really.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm going with the Browns.
I like the
All
pick.
right. You're gonna
You
take.
gotta loves it.
you're
You
gonna
gotta
take
loves
the
it too. With
You're
Vegas
gonna
knows
take the
something.
hometown Buffalo Bills. You know, Wes was on the Buffalo basketball team.
Really?
I was
Really?
a manager. I was a
Ah.
manager.
That's the team. That's the team.
But yeah, if you ask a few of the players, they'll tell you that I was the point guard for a little bit. if you talk
You
to the
gotta-
right guys on the team,
You got to bring up the clip of your claim to fame.
yeah. If you want me,
He throws one of the players in the corner.
I don't want to brag or anything. He got ejected from the game. He's 6'8", 250, and I'm 6'1", 215. So he's got 50 pounds on me, 40 pounds on me. So
Here we go.
he got ejected from the game. I tossed him to the side. I'll send you the clip.
No
You can throw it
way.
in a later time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do want to see that. We'll plug that in an ad.
Yeah, that will run down.
Not like let me be clear. Not like toss him to the side.
No,
Not-
you were
he
giving him the business.
doesn't get any airtime or anything. But
Spine buster on the baseline.
actually, Perk, if you're watching this, this is not exactly what happened. But yeah, I speared him into the bench. Yeah, he never stood a chance versus me. But anyways, I am going to go with the hometown Buffalo Bills -5.5, -5.5. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, it's 5.5 right now.
I saw the game versus the Chiefs. Obviously, I stayed up the whole time to watch it.
A real
And-
football fan, unlike my co-host.
Well, I just love watching. I don't know if you guys follow too many Bills people on Twitter. I love Bills Twitter. It's the funniest thing of all time because they always just defend Josh Allen no matter what. Josh Allen could throw a pick right into the other guy's hands, and they're like, bad play call. So I'm going with the Bills though, -5.5, because if you guys remember last year, they played Tennessee in Tennessee. It was a COVID game.
It was on like a Tuesday
night,
Yep.
and they lost 42-16 or something like that, 42-14. They got embarrassed on national television. I think the revenge tour continues, and they keep it up. And they're out to stomp on people's throats too. They're not trying to beat teams, but once they go up 10, 14, they're trying to prove a point to the league. So I think Bills -5.5. Bills Mafia goes crazy. Richard, I know you don't like Bills Mafia. It is what
I'd
it
rather
is.
pour acid in my eyes.
Listen, they've been so bad for so long. If you remember a few years ago when they made the playoffs and Tyrod Taylor was the quarterback.
Oh yeah,
they
won
the
10-7.
They played the Jaguars in the playoffs. That might have been the worst game I think I've ever seen.
yeah, it was
So bad.
So
That was the Blake Bortles run.
yeah.
and it was like no one could complete a pass the whole game. So
I think the
they
final
deserve
score was
Josh Allen.
10-3 or something.
The worst game I think I've ever. We were on the bus for Buffalo basketball watching the game, and I was like, I don't even want to watch this. I'd rather do literally anything else.
Well, they've
Yeah.
come a long way since then. They're
I'll let
looking
them.
like,
I'll let them. I'll let.
wagon
I'll
right
let them
now.
have their glory for now.
I saw a
Coming
clip
up.
of, it was a 3rd and 1, and Kyle Orton was the quarterback, and like he saw like 2 defenders coming at him as he was running for a first down. And normally Josh Allen, he takes him on head on. Kyle Orton slid 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. It took a 4th down punt. So they deserve Josh Allen. Give my Bills Mafia a break. Then the other one.
Hey,
that we're
Kyle
gonna do-
Orton's played in more Super Bowls than Josh Allen.
So far, that is
Is that
correct.
true? When was
think
Kyle
so.
Orton in a Super Bowl?
The Bears Colts.
That was Rex Grossman.
Oh, same thing.
They are the same person.
Was Kyle Orton a backup on a team though? Was he a backup for?
Probably.
I
He's
don't
been on
know.
every team twice.
I
find
could
out
be
for you.
wrong. Now that you say Rex Grossman, I forgot he existed.
The other team that I'm going with, and while we're speaking of the Bears, is I'm going to go with the Packers. I think they're -4, -4.5.
-4.5.
4.5.
-4.5. Yep.
I'm going with the
Gal's
Packers
picking them too.
simply because it's Aaron Rodgers versus Matt Nagy. So you give me 4.5 points. I'll take Aaron Rodgers, and the Bears offense just looks absolutely terrible. I drafted Justin Fields, hoping he'd be something else, and it's a keeper league, so I could keep him for next year. I don't even know if I want to keep this guy. I mean, hopefully
Not so far.
Hopefully Matt Nagy changes or gets fired and can bring in like Brian Dable or something like
Only
that.
been 2 starts though.
No, listen. I know it's been 2 starts, but are you going to tell me that Justin Fields looks good?
He won them a game. I don't know.
That doesn't mean he looks good.
Won the game. I don't know.
He won.
They let up 9 points. They better fucking win.
They beat the Raiders. Who
yeah,
knew
but they
John
put up, like-
Gruden was on his fucking Gmail the whole time? So you don't know what he was paying attention to.
Nobody in the locker room was listening to John Gruden.
Yeah, they were done.
If
Something
they
tells
did-
me he doesn't like Justin Fields.
Yeah.
I think he wanted them to get to the quarterback that game. So I'm just betting on Aaron Rodgers versus Matt Nagy. I know the Bears defense isn't too bad, but I don't know. And actually, the Packers defense is not great themselves, but I trust Aaron Rodgers versus the Bears defense more than Justin Fields versus the Packers defense.
All right.
Wow.
Safe play.
Good bet.
I
Good
like
bet.
All right.
Wow.
Thanks, Wes.
Yeah, I gotta say, man. Yeah, I think you are most solid. No disrespect to anyone else. Solid guest so far. Come in.
Melda's watching.
Melda, I love you. Melda came in with the vertical camera. I don't know. You come in.
Oh,
you
that's
got-
a good point.
You,
That is a great
You
point.
got pretty good lighting.
Oh,
You got a
boy.
nice headset with
I think
good
Wes
audio.
has been he's been sitting there for 2 hours waiting for us to come
I
on.
listened to the whole thing. I listened to the whole Brown slander. I was listening to the Bills stuff. I listened to everything. So,
Good.
and Alex, I think you're not too far off with the Josh Allen take. Just wait, because there's going to be like a bad turnover every now and then, and you're going to be like, "What?"
My
did I
Josh
listen
Allen
to
take?
Josh
What's my
Allen?"
Josh Allen take?
Or just
He's a
the
scrub.
Bills take that they turn the ball over at bad times and they choke in big games.
Oh yeah, they're a little undisciplined.
It happens with Josh Allen.
But
too.
like you
Weird
said,
pick.
they want to stomp on your throat. They're out to
Yep.
prove something, and sometimes that's not always a good thing.
They're out for blood this year. But anyway,
Well, for every Josh Allen interception, he'll hurdle a defender. So I guess you take the good with the bad, and it'll be entertaining nonetheless.
Yep.
There's more good than bad with him, so it is what it is.
Oh, I accidentally misclicked. Yeah, I agree. Sorry.
No, you don't.
No, I agree. He'll throw a pick.
All right.
All right, boys.
Well, thank you, Wes.
Thank you very much,
Thanks
man.
for coming on.
Appreciate it.
You got it.
Appreciate
Have a
it.
good one, guys.
Might have to
Good
steal
night.
some of your picks. All right, here we go. By the way, in the live chat, let me fix my camera one more time because
In the live chat, you just cost us a fucking listener in the live chat.
listen, that's what I'm saying. In the live chat, Melda said, "I agree with this. I was ill prepared." He agrees. Melda, you were great. Everybody's been great. He comes in. He's got his nice thing set up. He's got decent lighting. He's got a good headset, good audio, ready to go.
The headset was a nice
talking
touch.
facts too.
And guess what?
The headset was a nice
He didn't
touch.
freeze once like Matt.
He connected right to the audio.
You're frozen right now. There we go.
Am I really?
You were just frozen for like
Not
5
anymore.
seconds. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, if you want him to come back, I'll hop off for the rest of the show. It's fine.
No problem.
So we have our first game. We're going to start with Chargers at Ravens, and I put in the little headline, the Ravens are -3. So the little parentheses next to the home team is the spread, in case anyone's confused by that. I'm including that now because sometimes we do the double Jeopardy, so no one has to be like, and by the way, this is the spread. So we'll say the spread during the picks of the week as well.
Wait,
and
before we start doing the picks, I think we should give the people the standings on where we're all at, and
True.
and the controversy that went on this past week.
Oh yeah.
It's not controversial.
it's not an
tie.
Egal just wants a free win.
Yeah, I mean, let's call it what it is. There was no way that you were getting the win. It was either a tie or a loss.
Mm-hmm.
Take
You
the
you
tie,
had
then, kid.
Packers -3. They won by 3. Oh, really? Okay. All right. So the standings as they currently sit.
Wow, Melda
After
said you're
5
cheating.
Who's cheating?
Melda said Egal is cheating, word for word. Quote, Egal is cheating. You hear that?
About what? Oh,
All right, can
this is
we get on with the show?
I just don't like Egal with this
So
situation.
the standings as they currently are, yours truly, Matt, in first place at 12-8.
Boo.
Egal is in second at 10-9-1. He pushed on Packers -3.
You really
the
want to be
fans-
10-9-1?
The fans and Richard are tied at 10-10. And Alex is in last place at 9-11. Nice week though, 3-1. You made up some ground.
What did I go? 1-3?
Yes.
Good. After a 4-0 after a 4-0 week.
Yeah. Well, consistency is the name of the game. So we're gonna start with the Chargers in Baltimore against the Ravens. Who wants to go first?
How about Mr.
right.
Ty? All right, fine, Alex.
I'll start us off. I am going to take. I'm going to agree with Wes on this one. Going to take the Chargers. I think he made a good point. 37 for 43, not happening again. I'm sure Lamar will get his. He will get his yards on the ground. Hopefully, he continues to show that he is a capable passer. He certainly shut me up in my criticism last week with that incredible game. That being said, Chargers secondary is really good. I think they're like third in the league in like passing defense or whatever. They've done a really good job of containing quarterbacks so far. The Browns scored 42 points last week, but you look at the box score and Baker Mayfield had only 305 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's a good game, but it's not incredible by any means. They definitely tore it up on the ground. So yeah, I think the Chargers secondary will be able to contain Lamar, and the Ravens defense was not able to contain Carson Wentz last week. So I think Justin Herbert will do just fine, and the Chargers will win.
All right. Who wants to go next? Egal, or do you want me to go next?
Yeah. I'm also going to take the Chargers. Justin Herbert, being a beast that he is, he's going to throw for another 350, maybe another 400 yards next week against that suspect Ravens defense. But also, I agree with you, like you said, like their secondary is good. Asante Samuel, guy's a king out there.
He got benched last game.
Did he? Game.
I'm sorry to do that to you, but yeah, he got benched against the Browns.
They did give up 42 points, so yeah. But in prior weeks that I was watching, that guy looked like a stud. Come on.
He won Rookie of the Week two weeks in a row, but
yeah,
they did bench him because the coach said he was getting a little too they had to calm him down a bit, they said.
You got to put a rookie into his place sometimes. That's all it is.
But he is very good.
Yeah. And also, who looks like a beast? Best running back in the league might be Austin Eckler. He's a stud. I can't believe it.
Had a great couple of games.
Yeah.
He's really
good.
He does everything.
Now he's staying healthy too.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest thing.
But yeah, like I picked last week, the Chargers. I'm going to stay with them, stay on the same train. I'm going with Justin Herb.
Love it. Matt, or do you want me to go?
I'll go. I'm going to end up regretting this, but I'm going to take the Chargers also. I think that
Can I go to the Ravens?
I got to change the pick.
I know. I'm not happy about it, but
hey, at least we'll all go down together.
After watching last night's game about how Carson Wentz played against Baltimore's defense, that's kind of the deciding factor for me. I was going to take Baltimore before I watched that. I mean, you can't let Carson Wentz throw for 400 yards. If they're not going to have anybody to stop the passing game, I mean, like Igal, you said it, Herbert is going to feast on them. And I think that this is where you're going to see Brandon Staley's defensive guru mind really come into play going up against somebody like Lamar Jackson. I know the Chargers in the past, in that first playoff game when Lamar was a rookie, and then the following year they played them, they've always been able to kind of keep Lamar in check. So it's a different defensive coordinator. I know that I froze again in the worst time. I'm going to keep going until somebody tells me to stop. But
good.
I think Brandon Staley will have a good game plan to keep Lamar in the pocket as much as possible. And I don't see how the Ravens are going to be able to keep up with the scoring.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just to add on, the Ravens also not only did Carson Wentz throw for 402 yards, as a team, the Colts ran for 123 yards as well. So they're just not stopping anyone.
You're not used to seeing that from Baltimore.
Yeah.
Yeah, the D usually expect the defense to be.
It's been bad all year.
All right, so
they'll just put Derwin James spy Lamar the whole game, and I mean he'll make enough plays to stop them when they need to.
Probably.
Okay, so my turn. I'm gonna pick we're gonna go 4 for 4 here. I'm gonna pick the Chargers as well, and I was very highly debating picking them as a double down, but I don't want to be boring and I want to talk about multiple games. But yeah, same thing. I don't want to repeat what you guys said. Justin Herbert should absolutely shred this defense. Weapons all over the field. Nobody can contain Lamar really, but I think they'll do enough. If they can get out to a lead, I don't see them pulling a Colts and botching and giving up 22 unanswered points. Give me the Chargers and solidify my take as they're the number 1 team in the AFC.
All right. Should be a great game.
We move on here to Cardinals at Browns. The Browns, as Wes said, are -2.5 at home, facing the undefeated 5-0 Arizona Cardinals. We're doing round robin, I guess. I should go first here.
Yep.
I'm going to take the Browns. And look, I know Matt's always gotten some heat from Alex for this. The Cardinals are due for a loss. It's big Matt strategy, due for a loss. But no, for real, they've also same thing that we said about the Chargers last week. The Cardinals are susceptible to giving up plays on the ground. They've had a few 100-yard rushers against them, and teams have rushed pretty well, even if they didn't have a 100-yard rusher like a single guy. had a guy at high 80s and other guys doing well. So it seems like they're, susceptible to the ground game. And I agree that, the best way to play against Kyler Murray is keep him off the field. I think they're going to do exactly that. They need this win. They don't need it, the Browns, but, they're at home coming off a tough loss in a great game to a great team. So I think they're ready to go. They're going to be prepared. I'm going to take the Browns here to beat the Arizona Cardinals, hand them that first loss of the season, send them on the downward spiral to Kingsbury's demise.
I agree with you. I'm taking Cleveland as well. The Cardinals are a weird team. I mean, they're 5-0. They're the last undefeated team, but we've just spent the past hour now talking about all these AFC teams, and I don't really feel like the Cardinals are on that level, which is like weird to say. They skated by the Niners this week. The offense did not look good at all. I know Alex mentioned that Kyler was dealing with some kind of injury, but they skated past the Vikings. And there was another game that was like a little bit too close. I know that they really bodied the Titans and the Rams, but it seems like it's the Vikings,
Jaguars.
Jaguars game was way too close for the difference that you would expect for those teams to be at.
And the Jaguars averaged like 5 yards per carry against them too.
Yeah, they were leading in the third quarter. I don't know. It seems like the Cardinals are a good team. I think that they're still a little bit away from being a great team. By no means do I think that the Browns are a great team necessarily, but I think that their strengths match up well with the Cardinals' weaknesses. Mm-hmm. So I think it'll be a close game, but I really just think that the Browns are a better team right now, even given the records. So until I can't even say that because the Cardinals, like, they really convincingly beat the Rams. But I don't know. They're kind of like up and down week to week. So we'll see.
Rams were on a we beat the Bucks high. Fake news.
That's true. That is true. But I will take Cleveland.
All right. Yigal?
I definitely agree with you. The Cardinals are one of those teams that's like week to week. You never know what you're going to get with them. It seemed like you did. They're the only undefeated team left in football. So for that, and for Kyler Murray having the second best MVP odds, I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals. I wanted to take the Browns, but it didn't feel right, 3-2 team going up against the 5-0 team. I know that doesn't mean anything, especially in the NFL, but I don't know. Like here's what it is. They had their down week last week. They've scored 30 points in every single one of their games except for last week. So, they just had a little bump in the road. Get back on track. Here we go. Win this game in Cleveland.
Fair.
Yeah, I'm with you, Yigal. I'm going to take the Cardinals as well. Cardinals definitely have been struggling a little bit here. Kyler Murray only has 3 touchdown passes in his last 3 games. But on the other hand, you have Baker Mayfield, who has 4 touchdown passes on the entire season. Is that
true?
Yep. He has 4 touchdown passes, 2 picks. Going against a really good secondary in Arizona. I believe they're third in passing defense. They don't give up a lot of yards through the air or a lot of touchdowns at all. I think they'll give up their fair share of points against the Browns because they're, as you said, Richard, their rush defense is kind of middle of the pack. But we've seen this Browns team get absolutely eviscerated by the likes of Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes. And while Kyler Murray may not be on their level, he's certainly a good quarterback. Hopefully he gets healthy, and I just think the Cardinals are going to win this one.
Yeah, just to back up the numbers there with they're bottom 5 in the league in rush yards per game given up at 140 yards per game, and in dead last the Chargers. Probably didn't help this past game, but
Hey, no, I'm well aware that they're terrible against the run. It's funny though, Brandon Staley's mindset, he's like okay with giving up, with letting teams run on them and then just focus on the pass because once again, running the football doesn't matter. So it's okay.
All right.
And that's why I'm taking the Cardinals.
All right, Alex, you want to give your first spread pay of the week? So we have two. We've split down the middle there. Me and Matt took the Browns. Yigal and Alex took the wrong team, and the Cardinals. All right, here we go. We're move
hilarious.
On. Ha.
Okay. All right, my first spread pick is going to be I am taking Cowboys -4 against the Patriots.
Fuck.
You can still take it.
I also had that. So
all four of us had it. That line makes no fucking sense.
Can we go?
If anyone's listening, bet it.
Yeah, take it now before it changes.
Alex, go.
Yeah, I mean the Cowboys offense has been incredible through 5 weeks. Patriots offense is dog shit. And Cowboys defense has looked pretty okay so far. I'm sure like it's not the best defense in the NFL, but they got guys like Diggs making big plays back there. I don't think the Patriots are going to put up that many points. I don't think it matters that it's in Foxborough. I don't think. I mean, I think the Patriots defense is quite good, but the Cowboys offense is very, very high powered and they're healthy, so they're going to put up points, and I think they're going to cover this 4-point spread.
Yeah, so I mean, we don't have to go around the horn here. Are we all sticking with that line?
I don't have to take anything else as much as that. I'm taking it as well.
You guys kidding me? You're going to keep me in the bottom cellar?
I mean, listen, the Patriots almost lost to Houston last week. They were getting carved up by Davis Mills.
Yeah.
Who might actually not be that bad. We'll see. But
filthy.
I mean, Dak Prescott and that offense, they're going to score fucking 50 points.
There's no way they don't cover.
I don't care where it is. I don't care if it's in Bill Belichick's bedroom. They're not coming close to the Cowboys.
So we're all taking Igal. Are you sticking with it?
Yeah. Write me in, man.
All right, so we're all on that.
Yo, watch it loses though. Like you watch.
That's fine then. Alex, you want a chance to change your pick here since you want to pick up some ground or no?
No.
All right. So we're gonna stick with
All
it.
right,
I'll go
that's
next.
just one pick out of.
Actually, I will.
Really? Wow, we scared Alex off his own pick.
I'll double down on the Cardinals +2.5.
Wow,
Okay,
that's a risky one. That's scary.
Nice. I like the balls.
Yeah, but it takes him away.
Just because of
takes out they don't have to win now. So
yeah, but if they lose, like let's say it's a tie game, you lose on a field goal, he loses.
No, they could lose by 2.
But you have to hit.
I think you just said it's.
You have to hit both.
It's double or nothing.
Yeah, it's double or nothing. He has to hit both. If the Cardinals win, he gets 2 points. That's the only scenario.
I thought they had to win with the spread.
They do,
it's +2.
So it's only
it's because they're the underdogs.
So it's only if they're the favorites that you have to win by the spread.
But he's still putting 2 points on the Cardinals.
I'm saying if they were -2.5, then they would have to win by 3.
Cover. Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Now they just have to win.
Have we been?
That's what I said that when it happened a couple weeks ago, but we never changed it. But that's what it is. Cardinals win. Alex gets 2 points. I'll go. I'm gonna go to London for this one. Back-to-back weeks in London. You have the Jaguars and the Dolphins. They really are sending the cream of the crop over there to
take the Jags,
to build that fan base. I'm gonna take the Jaguars. I think that they're gonna win the game outright. Listen,
wow,
Miami looks horrible. Okay, they're getting carved up. The defense again, similar to the Giants, their backbone was supposed to be their defense, and it has not shown up thus far. They got fucking crushed again this week by the Bucks. Fair enough. Okay, Tom Brady. They got 45-17, but they're just not a good team. And Trevor Lawrence, we've talked a lot about how all the rookie quarterbacks this year have struggled out of the gate, and none of them have looked particularly well. Trevor Lawrence is slowly coming together, and he is looking like the best quarterback in the class right now, as we all expected him to look. Still a little underwhelming statistically wise, 6 touchdowns, 8 picks. He's, throwing for 200, 250 yards, but it looks like the talent is there. And I think that this could be a game where he's able to put it together against a defense that's been struggling. I do think the Jaguars are going to win this game, and I'll take them at plus 3.5.
Let me see if this changes your mind. Tua Tagovailoa is off IR and he's coming back this week.
What's the difference?
Doesn't make a difference.
What's the difference between Tua and Brissett
I'm just
right now?
saying. I don't know.
I know. I'm keeping tabs on it. I like Tua, but I mean, up until now, there's no reason to think that he's that much of a difference maker.
So I'll go next for my second one. I'm gonna do the Rams minus 10.5 against the Giants with no Daniel Jones, no Kenny Galladay, no Saquon Barkley. Struggling team already. Defense sucks. I mean, the Rams should absolutely slaughter. It should be 40-0.
Daniel Jones officially ruled out, or is he in concussion protocol?
I mean, either way.
You don't think it matters?
If Saquon and Galladay are out, and are Shepard and Slayton still going to be out?
They're not. They're going to be coming back from injury if they play.
Yeah, I'll keep that pick. I'll keep that
Roy.
pick. Rams
Is it?
10.5.
Oh, it's Eagle.
It's in
So,
MetLife.
I wanted to take the 10.5.
West Coast, East Coast trip? I don't know.
Now I know why you skipped over me, Rich, but it's all good. It's all
Well,
good.
because Matt went and we were doing.
All right, so you're just gonna skip me, take my pick.
But he went
all right.
before me last time.
All right, I'm gonna switch it up here, and I'm going Thursday night football -7, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tom Brady.
Don't like it.
It's tough, but you know what? 7 points. Just wait. Okay, just so we could avoid the half point thing. Can we do something about it? Like up the half
No.
We're
point?
doing ties. That's
We're doing
been
ties.
established.
Yeah, we
Okay.
can't just have you have a tie and then we'd have to give you the L.
Yeah. No, we have to. We're just doing ties. Alex had the win percentage calculator. We can do that.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, take me Thursday night football -7, Tampa Bay Bucks.
I spared you guys the Eagles Carolina Panthers conversation this week.
Oh, why?
I'll
Should have
put
brought
it
it
I'll
up.
put it back. I don't know. We didn't even talk about the NFC once, but
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
good. They suck.
missing two
Panthers.
starting O linemen, missed Christian McCaffrey.
okay.
Happens.
Who is it? Me?
Yes, you're the last one.
Yeah, I'll talk to
Okay.
Richard after the show.
All right. I'm also going with a -7 spread. Give me the Chiefs -7 over Washington. People are sleeping on the Chiefs, including Vegas. This is a team that has, yes, they're 2-3, but they've lost to the teams that we've been speaking about this entire show: the Chargers, the Bills, the Ravens. They are a lot better than the Washington football team. They are going to absolutely smoke them.
I agree.
Is Taylor Heineke supposed to keep up with Patrick Mahomes this week? I don't
Worst
think
defense
so.
in the NFL.
It doesn't matter. He's Taylor Heineke. And he's not that bad, but come on.
No, I almost picked that one, but I remembered a little stat that Egal and I talked about recently, that the Chiefs are like 3-15 against the spread in their last 18 games.
Yeah.
All right, so can I still switch it? No.
Eventually, they gotta fucking put it together. I don't hate the pick.
All
Is
right.
that true?
It is true.
They never cover.
They don't cover.
Ever.
The 1 week that they did, I'm pretty sure I bet on it, and that's probably gonna be the last one.
No,
so
they covered against the Eagles 2 weeks ago, so those stats are like primarily last season, but they are on a really bad covering stretch.
Okay, well,
I'm sure the spreads in every single one of their games is like 10 points last
That's
year.
the thing. Yeah,
that is true.
that is why.
that does it for our weekly picks. Had some similar ones this week. We had 4 of us take the Chargers. We had 3 of us take Cowboys -4. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully there could be some difference in the standings by the end of the week. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. We hope you enjoyed the show. Make sure you like and subscribe. Get that notification when we go live. And we'll see you guys next week on The Memo.
Thank you.